welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'll admit, this week's video was actually going to be of a hour on my sketchbook painting some moths that I actually did yesterday, so Thursday during my day off. However, while I was editing it, I have to admit even I got bored of that video. The moths, they're nice, but they're not intricately done. I was feeling really worn out after New Year's and just needed something really simple to recharge my batteries, and that's what it was, and I couldn't even think of anything to put with it. So instead, it's Friday and I've decided to change it up and do a week vlog instead. I haven't done anything like this. Well, I did the art vlog beforehand, but that was over a few weeks following One Piece. This is going to be different. You're going to be following 1 week in with me doing art and trying to fit it in after work and things like that, and just see how it goes. So hopefully this all works out okay and you enjoy this video. I'll catch you in a couple of days, I guess. So as you can see, I did start off with doing this with the intention of being an hour in my sketchbook with my usual opening scene, showing off my palette of my Reeves gouache, my gorgeous sketchbook that my sister got me, and the different stickers I've collected from artists, which are only a couple of the ones I really have. Now, as said, I really was feeling low and just zero energy to be trying to do any artwork, but I was just adamant that I had to get a video done, and so I had to do something. But as you can see, I'm really not paying attention to what I'm doing. The colours are bleeding into one another because I didn't let anything dry between layers. I used far too much water on my paintbrush to even try and do any of the details. And in all honesty, I had to go back over most of these and put in loads of extra detail, which I don't show on this just because this bit was quite long anyway, and you didn't really need to see me going around fixing all my mistakes. But you can see that they're just not up to scratch at all. Now, the idea of these is to actually use them for a colour study of a dreamscape that I'm considering of doing, which is a portrait of a girl with a night scene and some of these death head moths. Now, I know they've got a better name than that, but that's how I kind of refer to them, and I totally forgot to look up the actual name, so you'll have to forgive me on that one. Now, I wanted to do some studies because moths and butterflies are two things that I do quite struggle with. It's the wings. I don't know what it is about them, but I do struggle. But I did decide to do some colour studies in different colours. So obviously I like my surreal colours. So I did one in the traditional colours, and then I've got some blues, green, so bluey greens, a purple, and also a yellowy orange. Now, most likely I'm probably going to definitely be using this purple one. I really like the composition of the body, and of course I love purpley pink colours, as you would know by now. Although I am also going to be using another one which I'll be working in just a second. There we go. And this one is the one where I finally felt a bit more awake to actually be working on these. So basically I had pre-drawn these I think maybe 2 days beforehand, and I only just decided to put on the gouache this morning and was too tired to even focus on it. But by this point I'd woken up a little bit more, and as you can see I'm being a lot more careful with my brush strokes. There's a lot less water on my paintbrush so the colours aren't running into one another, and I'm taking time to let each little part dry before adding on a little bit more. So this one looks a lot better than the others simply because I was feeling more awake and ready to do this. In all honesty, I probably should have practiced on something first before I even bothered trying to film this. But even this, with me cutting out quite a lot of this, there really isn't much left of this video to even talk about, which is why I didn't keep this as an hour in my sketchbook video. But I do keep one part that I was wanting to talk about quite a bit, and it's this part. The way I use stencils to fill in backgrounds of a spread. Now, I actually got this idea from Zeke's Lunchbox, who does amazing work, and her sketchbook spreads are amazing. They're so beautiful, they're so vibrant in colours, and she uses stencils like these in different shapes. So I think she's got some squares and stars and circles and stuff. I only have this circle one and a small triangle one. But they're just really great ways of making the piece feel more cohesive and actually finished without leaving so much white space, and it's just a really lazy way to do it, but it is quite a bit of fun. So as you can see, that's pretty much it, and there wasn't an awful lot to talk about, so I hope you don't mind this little snippet of an insight into what I got up to when I was feeling very worn out. Hi all. So we're now on Tuesday. Obviously I've missed a few days. So Saturday I always take off because it's been a busy week at work and I spend it with my partner. And Sunday was we celebrated our 3-year anniversary, which was great, and we had a really good time up London. Although Sunday evening I still had to sort out some YouTube videos and all of that admin-y side of things. And then yesterday I had dinner at my sister's, so I didn't actually do any artwork yesterday. I was very relaxed. And then today it's been at work all day, and now I've got to try and get some night scenes done. So I'm going to be painting those. I'll have some of the footage in with this of what I do, similar to how I did the moths. It'll be snippets of what went on with that, and these night scenes are actually going to go with the moths onto a dreamscape that I'm planning for future. So I've got to get that done. I've also got to get a spread done in my small sketchbook, as well as a few other things, and it's already 8 o'clock in the evening and I've got to be up for work the next day, so I need to get a move on. Okay, so I just want to kind of clarify there. I do actually work Mondays, so it was the Monday evening I'd given myself off to go and see my sister and have some dinner because she's a great cook, and we had amazing Mexican food and it was lovely. The only 2 weekdays a week I give myself off from doing artwork is Mondays and Saturdays, although today is a Saturday and I'm trying to record these voiceovers, so technically not giving myself a break this week. But it's one of those things, you need to try and get a careful balance between it, and do remember to give yourself a bit of time off, and it's okay not to do some artwork if you're too tired. But enough of that ramble, because that doesn't really have much to do with what I'm doing right now. I was considering doing these night scenes as another hour in my sketchbook video, but as you can see, even with this all sped up, you actually see quite a lot of what I'm working on, and it is so similar to what I've already done of cloud studies, this time just in a night scene, so not as vibrant as the more fantasy based cloud studies that I was doing in terms of using like the pinks and stuff. But it is the exact same technique that I've used for the cloud study and the galaxy study video, and I just kind of think I don't want to get my channel too saturated with the same sort of stuff, especially as the hour in a sketchbook videos just don't do as well as this sort of thing anyway. So there was just little point in keeping it for that. In this though, I do enjoy going back over the layers. I am feeling a lot more confident when it comes to doing these sort of backgrounds, just because I've had so much practice with painting clouds and doing the softer shapes and textures that it was a lot easier to do. I'm still a bit undecided on which background I actually want to use, because this is to go with the moths that I did previously for the colour study of the night scene that I want to be doing as a dreamscape. I do like the black and white. I feel like it's very dramatic and does lend it does lend that nice feel to it, but my only concern is I like these dreamscapes to be more surreal and fantasy and like happy feelings, and I'm just a little bit concerned that the black and white is a bit too ominous, I guess. So yeah, I wasn't too sure, but as you can see here, the blue one just didn't really interest me. I kind of gave up. The way it looks now, it does not change much, whereas the purple one, I spend a lot of time. I take off the majority of the layer that I put on and then re-put on darker colours, and I quite like this one. I feel like it's a good kind of compromise between the black and white and also having more surreal colours in that I enjoy. But let me know which one you prefer in the comments below. And oh my god, did you see? I didn't really rip the paper this time again. We are getting there with that peeling off. Okay, quick catch up. It's now Thursday the 9th of January, because I realised I hadn't been given any dates. We had no idea when this was all taking place, but it is the 9th and it's my day off from work and I've got loads to do. So, quick overview. We need to film and edit a collaboration video, which should have been the last video that you saw with me and Minatella kind of getting together and trying to do a couple of challenges, try and grow YouTube together. And I also need to finish this weekly vlog and maybe get it edited and try and get some of the voiceover parts done. So I need to get all of that done today, and I have until about 3:30 when my brother gets back, and he can be a bit noisy. So trying to get as much of the filming part done, then all the editing in the evening, and I also want to do a couple of bits in my sketchbook. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. it was great. So I managed to finish those night scenes on the Tuesday evening, and then yesterday I just did a couple of little bits in my small sketchbook, nothing major, because then my partner came over and we were then recording Magic the Gathering. So yeah, so let's hope today is mainly a filming slash editing day. We'll try and get as much done as possible. Okay, so this part is actually from my collaboration video that I did with Mina Teller. Now, depending on the timeline of this, it was either the last video you saw or should be the next video out. I'm not 100% on the order that we've got this going in yet. But I wanted to talk briefly about how I did these shadows and highlights and how I used the two colours that we had picked, which is greens and blues, because I didn't really discuss that in the video. So we was doing the limited colour palette, as I said, of greens and blues, but I decided to do greens as mainly the highlights of the piece and blues as the shadows. Now obviously I do mix it slightly, so you can see in the face we've got the light green wash as the base tone, but there are areas where there are lighter blues and some darker greens. Now the same goes with the hair. I mainly did the hair blue and the lips blue, but I added in green highlights to each part to show where the light was hitting and given the effect of like the shadows and highlights of each part. Now the reason why I did this is because I wanted the piece to feel cohesive and smooth, so I didn't want to have a random bit of blue on the hair and it not actually work with the piece as a whole. And so by adding in blues into the actual skin tone, by mixing it with the green to give the shadow in, and by mixing the green into the hair to do the highlights, it made the piece feel really cohesive. And this is something I've picked up just after watching different artists, and I realised it wasn't something I'd spoken about, and I thought I'd give you a bit of insight into how I created this piece and made it still look semi-realistic. Okay guys, we're going to leave the video here today. So it's now 6 o'clock in the evening and I did manage to get everything done that I wanted to do. So we did film and edit the collaboration video, which fingers crossed you've enjoyed, and I've also managed to obviously finish filming this and get a couple of things done in my sketchbook. Now I'm hoping that you've enjoyed this sort of video. Trying it out simply because I've been finding the hour in a sketchbook with the voiceovers don't do as well as me being in front of the camera and being a bit more interactive. So let me know if you enjoyed this kind of overview of my week, and I will try and do some more videos like this in the future if it is something you prefer. Otherwise, I'll catch you in next week's video, and if you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like and subscribe.